Hey, I want to talk to you about you ever notice that whenever you do something, you're doing it over and over again, you don't see any results. It's like you're in a hamster wheel, right? You keep doing it over and over again, and you're not getting any type of satisfaction. You exercise and you're not seeing any result. You're starting a new project, you're not seeing any result. You're working on mending a new relationship or building a new relationship and it's not working. But then you stop, and it's kind of like that stopping brings a lot into clarity. You're kind of like, dang, man, if only I would have kept it going. If only I would have still pushed a little further. So I want to talk today about keeping it going. I heard an analogy one time. When you see that there's a seed that's planted in the ground, right? The seed's planted in the ground. At the surface, you don't see anything moving. You don't see the result of what's in the ground because there's nothing there but dirt. And then after a while, you see a tree, in which this tree is a result of the seed that was in the ground that you had no idea was growing, getting the nutrients, and taking root in the ground, building this foundation, until all of a sudden you see this big oak tree. I think that's kind of like how it is in life. I know me personally, you start exercising. All right, so let me talk about myself. So let me say the disclaimer. This is the no judgment podcast zone. This is a no judgment zone on this podcast, okay? So I'm just going to use me as an example. Many people do not know that once upon a time, I was in nursing school. I can't believe I'm really going to say this, but I am going to say this. Please don't DM me when I say this. So I was in nursing school. I was taking my prerequisites class at a junior college. I was actually at Broward College. And I was going to do my 2 years, get my associates, and transfer into a bigger university to finish my bachelor's. And I really hate math. I hate it so bad that it is one of the reasons, if not the main reason, that I dropped out of college. And I probably only had 2 or 4 more classes left to get my degree. There, I said it. So looking back years later, and I'm like, if I would have just hung in there in tutoring class and math, I would have already got my degree and probably some more if I would have just went through that minor step. I was only working on my associate's degree. It wasn't a bachelor's. It wasn't a master's. It wasn't a certificate. It was just my associate 2-year transfer degree out of a junior college into a major school. And I did all this work, all this preparation, all this studying, and I felt like nothing was happening. So guess what? I was like, you know what? I don't need this. In life, I don't need this. I don't need this type of negativity in my life, right? And looking back now, I could honestly say, you know what? You only had about 4 more classes left shy of you getting your degree. How many of us stop doing what we're doing because we can't keep it going? Because it's not happening as quickly as we want it to happen. It's not going as fast as these results are not coming in quickly for me. Listen, I just started working out last week and I'm upset that I didn't get my 6-pack yet. But guess what? In some areas of my body and some areas of my health, I can see some type of improvement. As much as I love desserts, as much as I love sugar, as much as I love fried food, fried chicken wings, I already start to see results. My body already starts to feel better once I cut those things out. But do I have everything yet? Did I hit all my health points yet? No, I haven't hit all my health points yet. I'm still doing squats. I'm still doing crunches. I still want my toned arm. I don't have the cuts in my arms yet that I want. You have to keep stuff going. You cannot stop in the middle of it because you don't see any results. No, it's not going to happen quick enough. But you know what? Sometimes that process is when we learn more stuff about ourselves. Me going through the process, some of us are going to learn patience. Some of us are going to learn how to talk to people. Some of us are going to do trial and error. Okay, you know what? This doesn't work for me. Let me try this. But you cannot quit. You lose when you quit. And you know what? You may not notice it. You may not pay it no mind, but it's always who you least expect it from. Somebody's always paying attention to you and studying you. You never know. Somebody could be looking at you like, okay, let me see if this person, let me see how they do with it. Let me see their progress, because if they can do it, I can do it. You lead by example, and at times you're gonna have to put yourself in as the leader. People follow, like nowadays it's crazy at the amount of people, the amount of support that you can get from social media. People follow you and people root you on. You can actually do this. But most importantly, I really believe that once you finish, now you're able to help somebody who had an issue in the area that you overcame. Now you can push somebody. Now you could pull somebody up. I mean, think about it. Sometimes you go through things just for somebody else. Just so you could be a blessing to somebody else, just so you could be an inspiration to somebody else. Sometimes that's all somebody needs. They don't need a big old speech. They don't need a big old monologue about the do's and don'ts. Yes, we're adults. We're grown. We comprehend. We know what's right and what's wrong. I don't need you to point out my faults every time I mess up. Sometimes people don't need that. People don't want conviction all the time. People don't want to be remembered about their failures that they did or their mistakes that they did in order to go forward. Let's not make it hard for somebody that struggled in the same area that we did. Hey, I had a problem starting my business. I struggled in some of these areas. Let me help you, because this is what happened when I kept going. You could lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. You show a man how to fish one time, they're not going to come back to you and keep on asking you how to fish. I struggled in this area with exercising, or I struggled in this area in my relationship or with my school studies, but this is what I did to make it. And I have no problem telling you how I did it, so that way you don't go through that. Because some of us, like moi, sometimes some of us got to bump our head a few times before we get it right. On purpose, because we don't listen. I'll be the first one to admit I don't listen all the time, especially if it doesn't sound as good as my idea. Like, come on, are you kidding me? But, you have to go through things. And I always say, you don't go through things, you grow through things. You have to grow through the things in life that you learn. Everything is either a lesson or a blessing. You either took something from it or you didn't. But there is an example somewhere. There is a teaching somewhere, especially in a failure. There is a teaching somewhere in that. So don't make it hard for somebody else. And, you didn't go through what I went through, so I'm not going to tell you, or I'm not going to show you. No, you went through that for a reason. You're put here for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. You went through that for a reason, so that way you can help them. Who knows? You probably saved somebody's life. You'll be surprised at what people are really going through on the inside, or what they're really thinking. That probably was a big relief out of their shoulders. So, you go through things for a reason. Don't beat yourself up about it. And guess what? Everybody goes through it, rather they say it or not. Everybody goes through it. And that's another thing why you have to keep it going, because like I said, the congratulations and the people that root for you, a lot of times that's going to come from people who couldn't even do it, but you did. So you have to keep it going in that sense. So that's my little tidbit for today. I just want to remind you all to just keep it going. Something so simple, something that we all can do. And guess what? Don't put a time limit on this thing, because you don't know when it's going to finish. You don't know when you're going to get there, but you have to keep on going and keep on encouraging yourself. Keep on speaking to yourself, or speaking to God, or whatever your religion is. But you got to motivate you first. You got to love you first. You got to get out there first. Because if you get out there, I may want to get out there, because I see how much fun you having out there. You understand? So that's just my little tidbit for today. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to visit us on Amazon. I have the You Got This journals available on Amazon. And we also have our Instagram page. You can like us on Facebook at YGT Journals. Until we see each other again, You guys keep it going. You already have this. Just keep on going forward.